Hi guys. Okay, so this is an important video that had to be made. And I wanted to make this video because of how important it was for me to get involved and to be actionable. And I feel like this is me being accountable before God in this issue. But I'm making this video because I'm calling to action all of my friends, all of my family, all of my Facebook friends, all of my church friends, all of my co-workers and my work friends, anybody, anyone who believes that abortion is murder. I need your help today. What I need you to do is I'm calling on 25 people, 25 of my Facebook friends or anybody who will see this video. 25 people to spend 10 minutes of their day to email and to make phone calls to help end abortion in Oklahoma. And then once Oklahoma is dealt with, I'm going to turn my attentions to Indiana. Because what we have going on here is absolutely the greatest wickedness and Holocaust of our day. And Christians have sat on the sidelines for far too long and just allowed this great wickedness to happen without any sort of pushback, without any sort of fight. We say, well, we'll pray. And that is essential. But then we don't stand actionable. We're not ready to stand up for it and actually do something about it. And when I say do something about it, I mean make a phone call. Send an email. How hard is that? That isn't difficult at all. And if we're not willing to do just that, then we have ceded and we have surrendered the position of ending abortion in this country. Right now in Oklahoma, there is a Senate bill, SB 13, that is being considered to be voted on. It has to get out of committee and it has to be brought to the floor. And I have sent an email and I have made Facebook posts about this, about what you can do. And that is contact Senator Smalley, who is the chair of the committee, to have it recognized and to be voted on in the General Assembly. That's what that Facebook post was for. I actually went to the Department of Health and Human Services and I contacted every single one of the senators that are on that list. I actually spoke to like three of the ladies, the assistants were in the office. And I said, I would like to urge and I would like to encourage and I would like to plead with Senator so-and-so for them to vote yes on SB 13. I spent the time. I did it. I posted that. And my prayer is that there will be people who are like-minded like me, Christians who want to end the murder of babies in this country. Because I gotta tell you, I am no longer a part of the pro-life movement. I am an abolitionist now. End abortion now. I am no longer part of the pro-life movement. After doing much research, it is the pro-life movement in this country that has lied to the people like Christians and churches all throughout its history. For the last 46 years or 46, I think, years since Roe v. Wade was an opinion passed by the Supreme Court, which didn't make it a law, by the way. It was an opinion of the Supreme Court. But since Roe v. Wade, the pro-life movement has done nothing, not one thing, to end abortion. They will say and they will preach and they will ask for your money And they'll say all the right words. We are against abortion. We want abortion ended in this country. But when it comes down to it, they don't. They fight for legislation that are just half measures. And you know why? Because they say, well, it can be passed. Just abolishing and ending abortion completely won't pass. So therefore, we are not going to fight for that. We are going to incrementally fight for legislation and negotiate life. We're going to negotiate the life of the baby. Instead of saying no, we're standing on the principle that abortion is murder. It's, well, we can get it passed if it's only a heartbeat, right? I mean, that'll actually pass. Wickedness. Nazism. People stand there and applaud Ohio for passing a heartbeat bill. Well, it sounds to me like the Republicans in Ohio and the pro-life movement in Ohio has just negotiated the life of the babies as, if you have a heartbeat, you can't kill me. But if I don't have a heartbeat, which is what, 8 weeks, you can kill me. Same thing in Iowa. And you know what was really, really sick and troubling about that? Is there were women with their babies standing behind the governor in Iowa, and they cheered. They cheered for the heartbeat bill. What about the babies who don't have a heartbeat? Seems to me that I remember that part of the stage of growth for a fetus or a zygote or whatever you want to call it, a baby, is that they start out at fertilization, which is where I believe conception. Fertilization is where I believe life begins, because at that point, the baby has all of the DNA necessary to become an adult human being. The only difference is the stage of development. And yet you have pro-life movements out there saying, oh, well, heartbeats. We'll negotiate, we'll concede at the heartbeat. If you have a heartbeat, you're alive. And if you don't have a heartbeat, you're not alive. Sounds an awful lot to me like Nazis declaring Jews not to be human beings. Therefore, we can kill them, we can maim them, we can do awful things of experimentation on them, and then ultimately gas them or poison them or whatever, incinerate them. This is the altar of Moloch, is what this is. This is the altar of Moloch. And what this is death. And the pro-life movement has done nothing to abolish abortion in this country. Nothing. I am no longer part of the pro-life movement. As far as I'm concerned, it can die. Abolish abortion. End it now. Do not allow the concession or the negotiation of life. That's my point. That's where I stand today. And you know what the nefarious part of Satan's plan here and using the pro-life movement is that if Roe v. Wade were overturned today because of pro-life legislation, it would be legal in those states because they set the precedence. If Roe v. Wade were found to be void, they would still be legal in these states. The heartbeat bill would still be legal. And you could still kill babies legally. This is it. This is the thing. When you start to research and to understand what is going on, and when you fail to stand on the principle of no, this far, no further, I will not condone, I will not negotiate life. That's where I am. And I know I get passionate, and I might get loud, but you know what? So what? Who's going to stand there and who's going to shout for the baby being murdered if it's not me, if it's not you? If we fail to protect the unborn, It is our wickedness. It is our shame. And God's relenting hand on this country is going to be released and removed, and we are going to suffer judgment unlike we have never seen before. And the church is going to be directly to blame for why this has happened. It is under our watch, under my generation, that we have allowed murder of babies and then negotiated it and then somehow called that a victory. I am calling on people, my friends, if Christians. The Baptist today, the Baptist convention in Oklahoma today put out a statement. They oppose SB 13 because get this, one of their reasons was it undoes pro-life legislation, which you wouldn't need because it abolishes abortion. You see what this is? The stronghold that there is? This is a spiritual battle, my friends. This is a spiritual battle being played before us. And I feel it every single day. Every single time I read about Oklahoma. I fight for Oklahoma. I'm with Joseph Silk, the senator, who is bravely combating this. He is the one who is pushing this, trying to get SB 13 to be heard and then voted on. But now Joseph Silk is finding oppression from the very people he shouldn't be. The Baptists and the Catholics. Christians, supposedly. It's one thing to fight the world. It's one thing to fight the secularism. It's one thing to fight the world who doesn't care about life. It's quite another to have to then turn the other cheek, to turn around, and then not be stabbed in the back by the Christians, supposedly. I am calling on the cowardice of those Baptist men to repent of that and to retract that statement and to support SB 13. This is garbage. SB 13 abolishes abortion. It completely eliminates it. It ends abortion in Oklahoma. If you do not stand up and are for SB 13, then you are directly supporting abortion. It's not just that the government takes my tax money and I don't have any right. I have no way of telling the government not to use my tax money to fund Planned Parenthood to pay for abortion. You can't say that anymore. Support the bill. I'm calling on friends, please. I don't know that I've ever asked anybody for anything in my life. Maybe a few times in my lifetime. Have I ever come to my friends on a platform of social media like I am right now? I'm asking you for 10 minutes of your time. If you believe that life begins at conception and that life is precious and belongs to God and it should not be murdered in the womb, the supposed to be the safest place for a human being is in their mom's womb. If you believe like I do that abortion should be ended, not incrementally legislated away in such ineffective ways as to make abortion legal or negotiate life by declaring life beginning at a heartbeat, then stand with me. Message me for information. All I'm asking you to do is to make a phone call. To call 10 people, I think maybe 15. 10 to 15 people on the Oklahoma board for the Health and Human Services for Oklahoma to leave messages, if need be, to support SB 13. Your voice must be heard. Because if we're not willing to go to civil war over it, if we're not willing to actually shed blood for it, then this is the avenue of which we have chosen. And I'm calling on all of my friends. I'm just asking for your support. go to oklahoma.gov, look up Health and Human Services, and there's a committee, and just contact everyone on that committee and urge them to vote yes on SB 13. And then your friends, if you have friends in Oklahoma, get with them. Tell people. Tell 10 people. Tell 20 people. Ask them to do the same thing. If we're not willing to at least make a phone call or send an email, then we are just as guilty for allowing murder. Because we just sit here and like, well, it's not my problem. No. It's time for apathy to stop. It's time for us to engage and to end murder of babies in this country. I know this might be a difference of opinion for a lot of people, a lot of friends on my Facebook page, and I can't apologize for it. All I can say is that I hope to change your mind, and I hope that you will stand with me to end abortion in this country. That is a person, that is a baby. A baby in any stage of development should be protected life. Be respectful when you contact people, when you email them. Be respectful, be forceful, urge and encourage, and maybe even plead, beg for them to say yes to SB 13. Maybe even call out some cowardice. Maybe even call out some cowardice. Because I had to call that out in me. That I knew it was murder, but I haven't done anything of any importance up until now. But this has gotten so... That's not true. I actually went and I spent some time outside of a Planned Parenthood with a group of guys. And that changed my perspective. Because when you realize that the women who walk into there are going to abort and to murder their child, it wrecks you. It breaks your heart. And maybe if every church in Northwest Indiana and in Northwest Indiana and Northeast Illinois would go to an abortion clinic and see what is done there, like the German people were taken to the concentration camps and they were forced to go through them and to see what horrors went on there, maybe then it'll affect some change. My condemnation for churches is just as strong because I can't do this anymore. I can't just sit here and not do anything anymore. So please join me. Just contact Oklahoma. Contact these people. Find a representative from Oklahoma just to say support SB 13. And let's end abortion in Oklahoma. Because once the precedent is set, then I can affect change in Indiana. We can end abortion. We can abolish it. Abolition, right? Slavery was eventually abolished. I don't really remember there being incremental. Well, you can be a half slave. Maybe just your children can be slaves, or maybe people that are 20 years and younger are only slaves, but the rest of you can just be eliminated. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Ending abortion. I am not part of the pro-life movement. You will never, ever see me support that organization again. I know that God has used them to save some babies' lives, and for that I am grateful, but they have done nothing. They have failed to end abortion in this country. Failed. And if it seems like I'm angry, I'm not. Maybe I am a little. Because I'm done. I'm done. I'm done being stabbed in the back by church. The churches in this country. that won't even stand on a sidewalk and hold a sign for an hour. I no longer can count on that. We have to act. And if it's alone, then so be it. Because we're not alone. We're not alone. We're doing this because God demands that we protect the innocent. Proverbs 24, 9 through 11. We're supposed to protect those who can't protect themselves. And shame on us for not doing anything about it. Join me, my friends, please. This is my request to you. You can, if you help me with this, I will never ask another thing in my life. I just feel so strongly and passionately about this that something has to be done, and not just don't do anything about it. Just sit here. I even left work early today. Because when I found out, I left early. And I'm like, I've been making phone calls since I've been home. I've been sending emails. Please get involved. Get engaged. Let's end abortion in this country. All right, this is 1789 Rebel signing off.